All right.
To try to figure out how to get the chat open somehow. Maybe. I'll have to figure that out later, I guess. All right. So tonight, talking about what I think is probably more important than knowing the perfect workout, the perfect calorie target, having the perfect meal plan, right? How do you actually stay committed when life is lifing? That's like my favorite thing to say, right? Everybody's got the situations where life is lifing and you can't, feels like you can't stay on track, or it feels like things are just too messy, right? The reality is nobody stays perfectly organized enough to reach a long-term goal without something getting in the way, without something getting thrown at them. Maybe it's work, maybe it's kids, travel, health, stress at home. Maybe you're exhausted. You just don't have the bandwidth to that you normally would have whenever things are going really, really well. So if you can and you have the opportunity or the availability, grab a pen and pencil for this, a pen or pencil and some paper, because there will be some things that you're going to want to jot down throughout this, and some kind of takeaways. So while we're chatting here, if you can grab something to kind of take notes with, you're going to want that. And I want you to first start out with like one goal that matters to you, something you've been working toward that has recently had to compete with real life. That maybe that's a goal that you're working on with us here in the program, or any other goal, right? Keep that goal in the back of your mind or jot it down as we go through it, because tonight this isn't about figuring out how to create a perfect life. It's about figuring out how to keep moving toward your goal when life is lifing or it's not cooperating, because that happens with everyone. Everybody can hear me okay? Thumbs up if so. Okay, cool. So, why we fall off track, right? Let's start with why that happens. Most of the time, it's not because the plan suddenly stopped working. The plan is the plan, the system is the system, right? Life happened. You had a schedule change, travel, something happened in the family, divorce, stopped sleeping well, your stress went through the roof with work, your job changed, you lost your job, all kinds of different reasons why, reasons can turn into excuses, right? Sometimes it's something even more simple. You missed one workout, you had one bad meal, and your brain decided, well, screwed this up. I guess we're done, right? You kind of get into that bucket, it's over, right? So I'm going to call that the mental quit. And I want you to notice something here. You can have several of these things happening at the same time, right? It's probably more likely that several of these things are going to happen all at the same time. When you're staying consistent, it becomes the hardest, right? So it isn't about comparing yourself to somebody else and saying, well, their life is harder than mine. Everything is relative, right? Your hard might be somebody else's easy, and vice versa. Somebody else might be going through something that is really, really difficult, and you're like, I don't even understand why you're struggling with that. That doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal at all, but to them it might be. So it's relative to where everyone is in their life and what they've experienced and what their various issues or challenges might be. And I know that, like, okay, let's take a quick thing. Throughout this program or throughout this presentation, there's going to be some things that I'm going to want you guys to chat about in the chat. And I can't, for some reason, get the chat to come up. So I'll be relying on the other coaches to kind of talk through the chat. If you guys could be commenting back and forth to each other as you guys are going through, and then hopefully I'll figure out how to eventually get this chat up. But anyway, this isn't about comparing yourself to somebody else's hard or somebody else's easy, right? It's about recognizing what it's actually interfering with your consistency. So take a second and think about which one of these tends to knock you off track the most, right? And it might not be, there might be other challenges that are not, of course, listed on here, but what seems to be your most challenging situation? If you could just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Stress, right? Stress changes everything. This is where like it becomes a really important part of the conversation, because when you're under a lot of stress, everything gets harder, right? Decision making gets harder, decision fatigue starts to happen, sleep gets harder, you're stressing, you're thinking about all of the things, you're laying there. What did I not get done? What do I still have to get done? All of the things, right? Hunger cravings can change. You can stress eat, you can stress under eat, your motivation drops. Things that normally feel easy suddenly require a ridiculous amount of effort. Like it was really easy for you to stay on track last week, but now that stress is kind of in there, things start to fall off. So we then sometimes respond by putting more pressure on ourselves. I'm just not disciplined enough, or I need to just try harder. I need to get myself together. Like, right? How many times have you said, I just need to get my shit together? I know that I've said that to myself many, many, many times, right? Just get your shit together, Marianne. Like, come on, pull it together. But if your brain is already doing more with less, adding more pressure isn't necessarily the answer. This is where the systems become really, really useful. The systems and the support that you're getting from your coaches, the system that your coach has developed for you, specifically for you, depending on what your various life situations might be. Instead of asking, how do I force myself to do the thing, the plan, when I'm overwhelmed? We can ask, what's the smaller version of this that I can actually do, right? What the smaller, reliable, repeatable actions are much more useful than a perfect plan that only works when you're having a great week or a great month or a great day, right? So here's the question I'm going to answer. You guys can kind of chit chat about this in the Zoom chat. Which part of your plan needs a backup system right now? Either jot that down for yourself, start kind of chit chatting about it in the chat. Is it food? Is it movement? Is it sleep? Is it just support? Like what needs a backup plan? What seems to fall off that you need to make sure that you have a backup plan? This one, the all or nothing trap. I know that I have had this all or nothing conversation with almost every single one of my clients, because I don't know what it is about all of y'all military people, but it is all in or not at all, right? And I'm just joking about it only being military people. We all have this all or nothing mentality, right? If I can't do it, if I can't do it all the way, I'm not going to do it at all, right? You miss a workout and suddenly you're off track. You eat something that wasn't planned and suddenly you've blown the diet. So fuck it, I'm just going to eat everything, right? You had a bad week, I'll start again on Monday. The rest of the week goes to shit because you're just going to start on Monday again, right? One imperfect decision doesn't erase everything that you've done before it. We all know that. For some reason, our brains try to trick us into, I have to stop, right? If you have a disrupted day, that doesn't mean you have to turn it into a disrupted week. If you have a disrupted weekend, the end of the week, it doesn't mean that the weekend has to go completely to shit. If your current plan isn't realistic for your current circumstances, whatever stress might be happening, whatever life situation might be happening, it also doesn't automatically mean that you have no discipline, right? It's just maybe the plan needs a smaller backup version in this moment when life is lifing. So let's please stop making Monday this magical creature that is somehow going to solve everything, right? Monday isn't the answer. If I'll start Monday worked, we'd all be incredibly disciplined by now. How many Mondays have we all been through in our lives, right? Monday isn't the magic answer. Your restart can be the next meal. It can be the next walk. It can be logging the next thing that you eat. That's your restart, not Monday, not next week, not next month, right? Look at those reframes on the slide and think about which ones are most like something you need to change. But I blew it, screw it, I'm just going to fuck off the rest of the week, right? I have no discipline. That's what you say to yourself. Change that to my current plan may need a smaller backup version. I'll start over on Monday. I can restart with dinner. I can restart with breakfast. I can restart with my workout. I can restart with just getting a stretch in, going for a walk. my coach will be disappointed in me. Probably you can just think about, oh, how can my coach support me? Being open and honest with your coach and talking through these things, I bet they're going to be able to help you come up with a new plan to start again in this next very moment rather than waiting until, oh, next week or next Monday. So who can give me an example, and you guys can unmute as you're going through. Who can give me an example of something that they dealt with just this week that it was an all or nothing thought?
I can, and we discussed it. Um, because of my circumstances of having the surgery and having a pending surgery possibly coming up, I was ready to, I wanted to lose this weight quicker than I am. And we discussed my thought, and I let you know, and then we came up with a new plan.
Awesome. Yeah, adjusting. So instead of saying, screw it, I'm not going to do this anymore, I'm done, it's not working, we are adjusting your plan to where you are now with your life. Who else?
I have one. Just barely getting over a cold that I caught from overseas. And as I was still kind of in recovery, I think you helped me with this, coach. Already thinking about like, okay, what are my next steps? Like, I know I can't work out right now, but what can I do? I can at least take a walk around the neighborhood and continue being active. So in doing that, I actually lost freaking 2 pounds. I mean, that's probably because I wasn't eating as well, but at the same time, it felt good for me.
Yeah, you didn't completely abandon everything. You knew, I mean, you've set good habits, and those habits carried you through even when you were sick and not able to do everything. Instead of saying, oh, I can't work out and I really don't even feel like eating, and just abandoning everything, those little baby steps that you took, literally baby steps, that you went for a walk instead of going to the gym and hitting the weights, that helped you stay on track. So awesome job, Melandro. Thank you for sharing. One more.
Um, on Monday, I ate a piece of cake that I wasn't intending on eating it. And originally, I thought I was just like, okay, well, I might as well eat like another one or like buy another piece and eat that. And then I realized, oh, I'm still within my calories. And even then, I can make different choices next time. But even then, like the piece of cake wasn't necessarily a bad thing. And that was just like hard for me to sit with for the couple of hours. But I told my coach, I was like, hey, look, I ate a piece of cake. And then he was like, it's fine. And I was like, oh, okay. So, yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes that piece of cake can turn into, well, I already had cake, I already messed up for the day, so let me just keep going and have blank and blank and blank and blank, right? And that's where it starts to spiral out of control.
Right.
Awesome job. Thanks for sharing.
One thing I'd like to add on to that is just like demonizing your food, right? So it's just like it's a piece of cake, right? And it's like most of the time when you guys go on a diet or your fitness journey, you're gonna say, I can't have cake, I can't have candy, I can't have like if you start looking at food as just like numbers, and if the numbers work, then it
Mhm.
works. Then you don't have to sit there and demonize food and think you can't have certain things. It's just like you got to make it fit within your numbers, right? So that's a big mindset shift that you guys got to get over because she even said like, hey, oh, I had this cake. Like she felt bad about it. She didn't like, she felt like she wasn't supposed to have it. It's like the only time you're not really supposed to have it is like if you spill over on your calories because that's basically what's going to screw you over at the end of the day. It's not the food per se. It's like the numbers attached to the food, right? So if you look at that, you think about it like your bank account. It's like if you go blow, if you got $5,000 in your bank account and you decide, well, I really want this car or whatever, something that's worth 15K, 20K. and you're like, fuck, now I'm in trouble, right? Because like I just blew all that, right? You just think about food the same way, and then you don't have to sit there and wonder, is this healthy? Is this da, da, da? Like, yeah, of course you want to make healthy choices. I'm not sitting here saying like, go eat a bunch of bullshit, but it also is like, don't beat yourself up because you had something that maybe looked good at the time, right? Make sure it works. And if it does, enjoy it, right? You might not hit your protein for the day, right? You might spill over on the fats for the day, you might whatever. But as long as you stay within that calorie limit, like you're gonna be okay. And your body probably won't even notice it. Like you may be a little bit heavier the next day, but that's simply because of the carbohydrates, the sugar, the water molecules sticking onto that, weighing you down a little bit, but that goes away in like 2 days. And that's what most people just don't realize. It's just like just because the weight goes up one day doesn't mean like fuck now, just screw it. I'm gonna go have ice cream too now because I had that cake. Like, so it's
Mhm.
just staying disciplined with that and being methodical with that. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, we all have kids, a lot of us have kids. We have birthday parties. Like if I had to say I'm never going to eat a cupcake or a piece of cake at my kid's birthday party, like that's completely unrealistic. We're not looking for unrealistic situations here and setting ourselves up for failure every time we go to some sort of family get together because we want to partake. So being able to work that stuff in real life, that's important part. So changing the goal, not your identity. It's one of the biggest ideas I want you to take away tonight. When life gets crowded, sometimes the goal needs to change temporarily, but your identity doesn't. If your normal plan is training 6 days a week and you suddenly have an insane week, shit happens. Maybe the adjusted goal is moving for 20 minutes. So it doesn't mean that you're no longer somebody that goes to the gym. It just means that this week you got to change what you're doing in order to fit life's situation. But it doesn't change who you are and your eventual long-term goal. It's just a short-term adjustment, right? If your normal nutrition goal is hitting all of your macros perfectly, maybe the priority during a chaotic week is protecting protein and hydration only. So instead of giving up completely on the entire plan, you're focusing then on just the two most important things or one most important thing. If you normally meal prep everything, maybe this week you just make sure you have healthy convenience foods available because you may not have time to cook. You just adjust it. It's okay that this week you're not a meal prepper. You normally identify as somebody who meal preps every meal, but life is not going to allow you to do that this week. You don't have to completely abandon it. It just means that you have to change it for the week. The point isn't to lower the standard forever. It's to recognize that the size of the action can change without changing your commitment, right? You're still the person who takes care of your health. You're still trying to become that person who is better and making better choices every single day. You just have to do it a little bit differently when life gets a little bit crazy. You're just doing it at the capacity you have available to you in that day or in that week or in that month, right? That's a really important distinction. Doesn't change who you are and what you're attempting to do. You just have to modify it a little bit temporarily to get through whatever life is lifing in the moment. Is that making sense to everybody? Cool. All right, non-negotiables. This is your bare minimum. So when life is lifing and shit's hitting the fan and you're not sure what to do, this is where we're going to make it practical, right? This is your bare minimum plan. This is where your pen and paper is going to come in handy, or your notes or whatever, right? Not your ideal plan, but if everything is perfect plan, your plan for a chaotic Tuesday, a chaotic Wednesday, a chaotic weekend, whatever it might be, right? So what are the 5 things you can still do when you're tired, stressed, busy, traveling, or you're just having a crappy day? Maybe it's focus on protein. Maybe it's water. Maybe it's getting some type of movement in. If you can't get to the gym, is it a walk? Is it a stretch? Is it a body weight workout? Is it something that you can do at home, right? Maybe it's protecting your bedtime routine, right? We all know how important sleep is. So, especially if you are overly stressed and feeling overwhelmed, sleep might be the one thing that is really important for you to protect, right? They don't need to be specific enough that you can actually check them off, because you might not have, like, they might not be the items, the task list, what I like to call the honeydew list that I give everybody, right? The task list that you have to check off. But this could be something that you protect, bare minimum, what is important to you to make sure that you are doing no matter what, right? Eat healthy isn't really a non-negotiable, because what does that actually mean? So that's not actually like a non-negotiable that you're writing in. Getting 100 grams of protein, or drink 3 bottles of water, or take 20-minute walk is much easier to define. So I want you to choose your 5. You can add it in the Zoom chat, write it down in your own list, keep it for yourself. Your bare minimum plan isn't supposed to impress anybody, right? This is, what is the bare minimum that you can do when life gets messy? It's supposed to keep you connected whenever it gets messy. Your backup plan, the non-negotiables. So who's willing to share, if you've thought about it or have it already? Go ahead and unmute. What do you feel like your non-negotiables, your bare minimum plan can be, no matter what? Anybody want to share?
I'll share. I got one. So for me, my absolute non-negotiable is sleep. I have got to get 6 to 7 hours of sleep, and I do everything I possibly can. And I mean, I will stop in the middle of something, get it to a stopping point, and I will go to bed. Um, Protein in the mornings, it's non-negotiable. Protein in the morning means better choices throughout the day, regardless of where I'm at, what I'm doing, what's going on. Those 2 things are number 1 and number 2 always. Moving around, whether it's a few, a little walk up the driveway, or just something to get off the couch, get off the bed, get out of the bedroom. And the 4th one is kind of tied to the sleep. I don't I don't go into my bedroom at all unless I'm going to bed. I don't lay there and hang out. I don't use the bed for anything but sleep. So if I stay there, it forces me to stay active, and then I just hydrate throughout the day.
Nice. Really, really good non-negotiables there, and in making sure that those are the things that you're going to do no matter what the situation is. Anybody else want to share? Maybe just 2. Give me 2 non-negotiables that you absolutely can commit to no matter what.
I'll go.
All right, Alec.
For me, it's also sleep. Because if I don't get 7 to 8 hours, I'm set up for failure the next day. And the second one would be my protein. I actually have to second that. If I don't have my protein shake in the morning, it's like I'm set up for failure for the rest of the day. So those are my 2 non-negotiables.
Okay, so what is your
Go,
backup
Marianne.
plan? What's that?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Marianne. My bad. I was gonna go next.
Oh, I was going to ask, what's your backup plan if something happens and you can't get that protein?
Core powers. There's no excuse. I have them on hand all the time. I'll just grab 2 of those.
Nice, nice. All right, what you got?
Mine is for some of y'all that know me, the one thing I don't want to do is get big again. So mine is I have to start my day with working out. If I don't, it throws my entire day off. Right? And then I have to have my protein in the morning. For some reason, if I miss protein, it messes up my diet for the rest of the day. Even if I eat right, I feel like I missed something and something's not right. So I have to have my protein. I have to have my workout to start the day out.
Nice. All right, your support team. No shocker here. I mean, you all are here to get support, right? So a lot of times people struggle with this, asking for help. I saw it in the chat earlier. Was that you, Rusty, in the chat saying, you know, coach is going to just get disappointed if don't ask for help, right? So asking for help is one of those things that everybody, it's like taboo. It's like, oh, shameful to have help and ask for help, right? It's this big idea of being independent means you should be able to handle everything yourself. And I don't agree with that. Support is part of your plan, whether it be your long-term health plan or your life plan or your parenting plan. Like, it's okay to ask for help. Like, you guys, professional athletes have coaches. These are people who know what the hell they're doing, and they have coaches. High-level executors in the corporate world, executives and CEOs, they freaking have mentors. They have coaches. These are really like super smart people that we might look up to. And guess what? They ask for help. They are getting coached. So why do we down here in the, you know, in our little world feel like we don't deserve help and coaching and mentorship as well? That's what this is, right? It's not something that you failed and oh gosh, now I have to get somebody to help me out of this. This is just support, right? It's okay that you're asking for help. It's part of the plan. Your coach can help you adjust the plan, your coach, mentor, whatever you want to call us, right? We can help you adjust the plan. Your family can help you adjust. Your spouse, partner, protect your routines, right? If you're struggling with a routine, hopefully somebody in your household is on board with you and helping you if that's part of the problem. If the routine is not there, you need to try to make that routine, right? And so it's not just you all by your little lonesome trying to do all this stuff all the time. It's okay that you're asking for help every now and then. Friends and family can help with the practical things, maybe. Your gym or your community can help with keeping you connected to people who reinforce what you're trying to do, support groups, whatever, you know, wherever you can kind of get that additional support and community feel. Like, we're meant to be with others, relationship with others. You don't have to do things on your own. And I really want to point out the difference between grace and permission, right? Grace says, I'm struggling, so I'm going to adjust and ask for some support. You're giving yourself some grace with this struggle, right? Permission says, I'm struggling, so I guess I'm done. You're giving yourself permission to give up. You're giving yourself permission to get back into some old habits, right? Completely different things. Being kind to yourself doesn't mean abandoning yourself. And I would argue that it's completely the opposite. If you are abandoning yourself and giving up, you're not being kind to yourself, and you're allowing that stubbornness of asking for help to overtake what you actually need. So be thinking about your support roster, right? Who belongs on your support roster? Who is on your team? Who is in your tribe? Whatever you want to call it. The people around you that are going to be your support system. It's your coach, it's your family, it's your parents, it's your kids, it's your whatever, right? Your gym family, or, you know, whatever you call it, right? If you're comfortable sharing who's a part, like who's in your dogs, who's in your support system, right? Beyond your coach. We all know, like you guys are all here. We all know that you have your coach as your support system, but who else is in your support system that's kind of keeping you going? Kids and coworkers, Amanda, I like that. Scott, I know your daughter is part of your support system. Husband, kids, and coworkers. Awesome. Coworkers, I mean, that's really cool, like to see coworkers, because sometimes that can help, they can sabotage, right? Sometimes it's like they're The candy bowl is out. Everybody's got that desk that they're walking by every once in a while, and it's like the freaking candy bowl, and they're like, how come you're not eating the candy? Or maybe you brought your lunch and they're wanting you to go out to eat and they're making fun of you, right? For bringing your own meal all the time. So sometimes that can be really, really difficult. So I love seeing that you guys have coworkers as support system. That's really fantastic. All right, so tools for getting back on track. When you're off track, don't make that first step complicated. Momentum usually comes from action, not from sitting around trying to think yourself into motivation, right? Motivation isn't always going to be there. It's not some magic thing that we all have all the time, right? So little actions, right? Drink some water, go for a walk, log one meal completely honestly, go grocery shopping, prep tomorrow's breakfast, prep tomorrow's snacks, do one workout, go to the gym, do one workout, do one exercise of your workout. Anything, right? Any of those can be your restart when things feel like they're falling off. I really want to emphasize this one here. One accurate food entry can be your restart. We all know, us coaches, we all know, and you all know yourselves too, food doesn't always get logged accurately. It's not always getting measured. Maybe you're going to log it later and you forgot. Oh, I forgot that, bite. I forgot that oil. I forgot what I ate yesterday, right? So maybe it's just getting back and accurate, being aware. You don't have to go back and make yesterday perfect. And you don't have to wait until Monday. You just need one next action. What is the one next thing that you can do to get yourself going again? Right? Is it water? Is it a walk? Is it a meal? Is it groceries? What is it that's going to help you get back started again? That first action. You have your non-negotiables. This is different than your non-negotiables. This is one little action that you can just do right now in the moment to get started again. All right, here's your reflection exercise. This is where your pen and paper is going to come in handy again. This one is a little more personal, so you don't have to share anything if you don't want to share. Think about the biggest life event that has challenged your health. Maybe it's the divorce. Maybe it's the job loss. Maybe it's a death in the family. Maybe it's traveling, being stationed somewhere away from family, being away on a job, like having to go away. Your relationship ended, you lost somebody, a move, whatever it might be, right? What did you do? What happened to your health habits? And then here's the more useful question. If something similar happened again, what would you do differently? What is that bare minimum action you could protect? How could you ask for help? The goal isn't to beat yourself up over how you handled the past. It's to learn from it, right? We learn and grow through challenges and mistakes. If everything was perfect all of the time, we would never need to be any better. We can only get better through challenges, through struggle. Embrace that suck, embrace the struggle, embrace the challenges, ask for it, expect it, want it, because that's how we're going to get better. That's how we learn what we need to work on. When we know what tends to knock us off track and we're aware, just like the food is awareness, logging your food is awareness. When we are aware of what's going to knock us off track and we write it down and we keep it and we know and we own it, that's how we can build a better response when it happens again, because life is going to life again. How are you going to handle it the next time around? Maybe it might not be the same thing that happens, but you can build those support systems. Who can you turn to? Who's on your roster that you can ask for help? What would you do differently? All right, book that's going to kind of tie all this together. The obstacle is the way. This is what I was just talking about. Obstacles become your opportunities to learn. The basic idea is that it doesn't necessarily have to be something that stops you. It can become part of your path. Obviously, this book fits the conversation really well. Everybody gets into this. Once the problem is gone, then I'll be able to focus on myself, right? Once my schedule changes, then I'll be able to do better. Once this thing gets better, I'll be able to, once I feel better, once this doesn't hurt anymore, once school starts, once school ends, there's always something that's going to be the obstacle or quote unquote excuse that we use to not move forward toward our goals. And I want you to challenge that in your own thinking and change your mindset of looking for these obstacles. Because we need these obstacles in order to get better. Control what you can control. Your perspective matters. Adversity, that can build resilience. We have all of y'all have been through some crazy adversity in various ways, and you're still chucking along, right? Your track record for surviving your adversity is pretty damn good at this point. And it's going to continue because you're going to grow through the obstacles. You just have to figure out what useful response is available to you to that obstacle. All right, client of the month is Karina. Karina is the example of this freaking obstacle shit. Like, this girl has been through it, right? Lots and lots and lots of obstacles. And proof that it does not have to be perfect, right? Nothing is perfect. She didn't have the perfect circumstances. She adjusted. She adapted. She kept moving forward. Results obviously are pretty significant. She's down 55 pounds, 11 and a half inches off of her waist, 8 inches off of her hips. And all of that happened with like freaking body weight workouts. Like, she didn't go to the gym and have this perfect gym set up and all this home gyms workouts set up, right? Sometimes the win is figuring out what you can do and do it consistently. She didn't wait for life to become easier before taking care of herself, because this girl has some stories and she's doing it regardless of all of the shit that she's been through. She learned how to keep taking care of herself while life was happening. And that's really what we're talking about tonight. So Karina, I just want you to say, like, I mean, you talk all the time about like, you just got to do the things. So like, what do you feel like has been your bare, like, I know you talked about your bare minimum, but like the crap that you've been through, like talk to me about how you managed. How did you do this through all the things?
So, well, again, number one, my sleep is non-negotiable. I've got to get my sleep. I handle things a whole lot better when I've had the appropriate amount of rest. Two, because I had built in this routine of tracking my food and loading my mornings with protein, when everything absolutely hit the fan, I knew I could count on those two things, that they're in place. We don't change them. We don't mess with them. They don't get sacrificed. And if I could just, hold on to those two things, because those were the things that I absolutely could control, it made it a little bit easier to be like, oh, this shit's out of my hands. There's not a whole lot I can do about this, but I can do this and I can do that. And then because I'm doing these things, it's like those become muscle memory. They're just, I don't even think about them. This happens, hot shower at night, go to bed, get up, protein in the morning, and then whatever gets thrown at me. All right, you know what? The giving your grace also means like having that discernment as to when to step away and just be like, I don't need to muscle through this. I don't need to take this head on. I can literally shut the door or I can go walk away and just let it decompress a little bit and then come back to it and just do. I mean, there are a lot of times where I would just would take my folding chair and sit out behind my car and just stare and just not think about anything and just let my body calm down. Because I mean, there were a lot of things that, including my support network that got completely obliterated over the summer when I absolutely needed it the most. And a lot of this stuff I had to deal with by myself on my own. And there was nobody to talk to, and it was super hard. And I mean, I did have, I had Coach Marianne, but like, I didn't want to be telling her the same story every single day because it was just, yes, we're doing the same stupid thing, but we've added this craziness, or yes, we're doing the same stupid thing again, but now we have these two elements, and now we're doing this. Guess what? Same stupid, crazy thing. You just get to a point where you're like, I don't even want to talk about it. But again, it kept going back to I knew I could control how much I could get sleep at night, and I knew how much nobody was messing with my food. That was something I could 100% stay on top of. And that those two little things, they're little, but they turned out to be like the biggest things because those were absolutely the things that kept me somewhat grounded because I knew I had those in the bag because those were the two things, no matter what else happened, I could be diligent about. And those were the things that I stuck with. And while you're looking at it right now, it didn't let me down. I mean, I even traveled, I went to Scotland, we were drinking whiskey, we were eating the food, but I still had it in my head that, okay, if I'm going to have these drinks, then I need to do something else with the food first and I need to switch it up. And did I get it right every time? 10 out of 10 times. No, I didn't. But I also didn't punish myself. Like I didn't talk down to myself about like, oh, look at you falling off the wagon. It's like, no, you're traveling. Things are going to happen. You're not going to be weighing in. But because you're not weighing in, that is not a free pass to just do whatever you want. Be conscious about it. So did I have fish and chips? Absolutely. Did I scrape the breading off? Absolutely. Ate the fish, not the bread. So
Yeah. So what I really
little
like
things
about
like that.
what I really love about, what your journey is showing is holding on to those little things and just doing it. Like you said it last week when we were talking, like I just did what you told me to do. And when I couldn't do everything that you told me to do, I did the bare minimum. And that's, what this is about. And this is, obviously proof that doing the things and just following the GPS that we're giving everyone, it's going to work, even when it's not perfect. So thank you, Karina. Congratulations on your
Thank you.
success.
Thank you. One last thing. And if you do
Sure.
the bare minimum long enough, you get bored and you're like, okay, this is bullshit. Then you start kicking it up. And that's partly what I did too. So
Nice. All right, final challenge. So we're going to bring all of this together. Life is not going to stop happening so that you can reach your goals. Life is going to life, no matter what, no matter how much you want it to be fine and perfect and the greatest circumstances, it's going to happen, right? There will always be something, a busy season at work, family problems, travel, illness, whatever, all the things that we've been talking about, right? If your strategy is, I'll focus on my health when life settles down, you're going to spend a lot of time waiting, right? You're going to be waiting for that perfect time, that perfect situation. Instead, we're going to practice taking care of ourselves in the middle of the storm. That doesn't mean doing everything all the time. It means doing what you can in that moment. Use your bare minimum plan when your capacity is low. Ask for help. before things completely fall apart. When you get knocked off track, return with the next action, what is the one next thing that you can do, but not next Monday. So here's your challenge. Again, if you haven't already done it, write your bare minimum, your 5 daily non-negotiables, your bare minimum plan. For some of you, that might be protein, water, movement tracking, and sleep. Sleep was the common thing here. For somebody else, it might look a little bit different based on what you've got going on. The important thing is that these are the things that you actually protect. Put that list somewhere you're going to see it. It's a sticky note on the refrigerator, on the bathroom mirror, at your desk. Some of us, like I like to use Post-it note widget on my phone. I put it on my phone, on my home screen when I really need to focus on something. I'll put it there so it pops up and I can see it on my phone each time I open my phone, right? Wherever you can put that to give yourself that reminder. Bring your real week to your coach, right? Write that bare minimum thing. Let us know. Tell your coach what you have going on. If your schedule changes, if something happens, if your plan isn't working, just communicate that. You're here for a reason. You're here to get help, right? Let us help adjust the actions without completely abandoning your commitment. Goal isn't impressive performance, it's completion. You protect your 5 for 7 days. Your 5 bare minimum things, you protect those for 7 straight days. Then if life throws something at you, you don't have to decide the mission is over. You just adjust the route. You keep the commitments, those 5, and that's how you stay committed when things get super, super messy, because they're gonna get messy. Happens to all of us.
One thing that you can add on that list is your goal or your next goal. Let's say if you have a long-term goal, like the next 5 pounds or 10 pounds, and your big why. Those are the 2 that are going to lead towards success. Like never forget about your big why and why you're doing it.
Back off of that.
100%.
To piggyback off of that, y'all came here to make this a priority. So it's that simple. It's a priority. Y'all came here for a reason. Something needed to change. Don't be afraid to make a change, right? How many of y'all hesitate to decide if you're gonna go on vacation? Or if you're gonna have a drink? Or when we talk about ice cream, to eat ice cream? You give into that, but not the stuff that's gonna nurture you every day. Trust me, the more you do this, the easier it's gonna be. That's why Matt has that shirt that we have that says discipline beats motivation. To piggyback off of that, discipline will breed motivation. It will make motivation consistent because your discipline is going to display all different areas of success. So being disciplined makes it feel a lot better. You know what I mean? It's not easy. Discipline is doing what you need to do like you love it. So ask yourself how bad you really want it. Good job, Marianne. Damn good job.